What's happening? What's happening? As y'all saw in my community post, I was supposed to be going to the view. Combination of things happened, and now I'm heading back home. I definitely don't want to be heading back home for sure because it's a lot to get up and get out here. I don't live in the city. And for those who don't know what city means, the city means Manhattan if you're from out of town. Yeah, so they told us that loading time was 10:15. I was a little bit late. I got there at 10:20, but any of the other shows that I've been to, getting there 5 minutes after the loading time isn't a big deal, but apparently the View is number 1, very strict with their loading times, and number 2, they decided to load up early today. And if you don't know what I mean by loading times, a show will air, let's say like The View, I think that they said the time that it tapes is 11 a.m. until 12:30, and they will give you a time where you have to be outside. You get outside, you get loaded up into a room, they give you all the rules, and you sit there for a little bit, and then they load you into your seats, and then they warm up. They have a warm-up person there that kind of warms up the audience and tells you how to do your reactions and all that good stuff. So this is the first time I think that I've ever been there at the time or slightly after the time that they said to get there, and they just didn't let me go in. And a few people were pissed about that, including me. But I've learned to kind of let things go quicker than I used to, because some days things go your way, everything goes perfectly your way as planned, and some days it's just like the butterfly effect. One little thing is off, and then it just throws off everything. So I'm not gonna let this impact my whole day. I'm just gonna talk a little bit about dealing with disappointment. Life rarely goes as planned. We have our good days and we have our bad days. Today started off poorly for me because really, when I know that I'm coming out to the city for one of these shows, I kind of have 4 to 5 hours blocked off between the time it takes me to get myself ready, get out the house, get going in the traffic. Like, I block off 4 or 5 hours of my day just for this. It's not just a little fun hour that you see on the TV. But let me see. So sorry, but you will have a blessed day in spite of it. Yeah, I'm kind of figuring out what's going to be plan B. I might head to the gym when I go home. It's disappointing, no doubt. It's disappointing. And also, Rev Run was going to be on the show. Rev Run. I really enjoy Rev Run. I used to watch Run's House. I don't know if y'all used to watch Run's House, but I used to love that show. It was one of the most wholesome reality TV shows out there. Yeah, so for whatever reason, things have just never really worked out for me and The View. I don't know why. There's been a few times when I was trying to go to The View and different things happened. This one time, they had they were doing Bad Boys 3, and they had Will Smith and Martin Lawrence, and I was supposed to be in there for The View at that time. And they said check-in time was a certain time, but they let people in super early. And they said the reason was because when there's popular guests, they load up earlier. And I'm like, okay, I didn't know that rule. I mean, probably for people who live out here or just hop on the train, it's not as much of a pain. But for me to get out here from Queens, I mean, I drove an hour and 20 to 30 minutes to get out here and be told no and have to go back home. I was trying to think of a plan B, like maybe I'm gonna go around the city, do something, record something, but I just didn't feel like it. So I said, let me throw this live on, see if I could have some of y'all accompany me on my way back home. Oh, you loved Run's House too, Ashley? The show was so funny. I watched Run's House. I watched a little bit. I used to watch Growing Up Hip Hop. Sorry, y'all. I used to watch Growing Up Hip Hop, but I feel Growing Up Hip Hop has been losing something. Yeah, next time, Sheena. I mean, there was a time back in the day where I would have just deleted all these posts and been like, hey, let me just pretend like it didn't happen. Now I'm like, it's okay. Yeah, next time, you know, I'm going to be going to Sherry Shepherd again. I think the first week of December, I'm planning to go to Sherry Shepherd. But it takes me a lot of energy to do stuff like this. People don't know this or they can't tell, but I have like mild social anxiety. At the very least, it's mild. And so the energy it takes me to actually get up and be around people and be in the studio and stuff like that, it's like a mental preparation that I have to do before I arrive. So it's draining. Like I'll come off a TV show set and feel really tired, like mentally tired and physically tired. But not in a bad way though. Not in a bad way. It helps me step outside of myself and step outside of my typical comfort zone. Because I could easily be a person that just sits in my house all day and does not interact with people. Oh, by the way, since I'm on here, I think this is a good time to talk about this because I don't really want to give this its own post, but I do want to talk about this. I want to talk about these comments that I've been receiving in the last 48 hours about the event that I went to on Saturday. Just to can only give my personal perspective of what I saw around me in the building. Obviously, I'm not a security surveillance camera. I don't have like a 24-hour peripheral view of every angle of everything that everyone said and did. So my view, what happened at the I went to, are not be all end all. But I will say, I think that most people would rather listen to what I've said being in the building versus people saying, I know the whole thing of everything that happened because I viewed fan stories. If you weren't in the building, you don't have a better scope or view than I had. It's just not possible. And matter of fact, as I looked at all the stories of the people that were there, like the Big Brother survivals people, I was in the background of a lot of those videos, so I know what I saw when I was there. I obviously didn't see everything. There's a chance that maybe I was facing another direction or I didn't happen to see whenever Taylor and Joseph came down and took pictures with the fans, that's inconsequential. I didn't say anything bad about either of them. I had a great conversation with Taylor. Even though it was brief, it was a nice conversation. I have 2 pictures that I got with her. I didn't speak with Joseph. I said I didn't speak bad about the guy. I don't know him to say anything bad about him. And I don't think I have ever really said anything bad about him at all. So y'all can leave that one alone. If you want to have a victory by saying, oh, you said that he wasn't on the main floor and I saw a picture of him on the main floor, if it's out, I'm sorry. I'm going. I may have been speaking too many bars. I may have been speaking too many bars. I may have been speaking too many bars. You know what I might start doing? And this is not, I don't know it's not a punishment, let's say. But I am starting to do memberships. I just turned on memberships on my page. I will still be posting the majority of my content on the page without you having to have a membership. But I think certain things, possibly like if I go to events like this, some of that content might end up being member only content so that people have to pay to hate. Yeah, I don't know where it cut off, but yeah, I was just basically saying it's not a big deal for me to say, oh, okay, maybe I just didn't see when they got down on the floor. But I can say that even if people see pictures, videos, whatever you saw, because I have not seen any of these things that people are claiming to me that they saw, I can tell that it was not the majority of the invited by Big D's event. So as far as I'm concerned, their only obligation is they didn't have an obligation. They came there for him and they came there to have a good time. And he probably told them, hey, this is going to be a more low-key event. You know, I know that you guys have had a lot of high-profile things where the fans are mobbing and just grabbing and pulling you every which way. So come to this little lounge in Philly by me, and you guys can have a good time. You can dance. You can do your thing somewhat privately and just have a good time out in the city. So I don't know. People argue about things that are not important in the grand scheme of things. But I'm realizing some people just live and breed off of these people's lives. I enjoy being around Big Brother people and challenge people. I really do. I'm a fan. So I'm not trying to say there's anything wrong with being a fan. It's just calm down a little bit. Whatever happens with these people does not impact me to the point of changing my life like that. I believe you have the pictures. We saw you there. Of course I was there. Yeah. I'm not even trying to debate or dispute with anyone about whether I was there, whether I was speaking to them. I have all that stuff on video, so that's not even really debatable. But that's all that I wanted to say about that. And trust me, I'm not going to be sitting here talking about this every day, but it's just in the last 24 hours, there's been so many comments. There was even a page that I saw that was telling me that I was stalking them because I had videos of them. I'm like, first of all, how do you stalk people that you actually were speaking to? I don't know if you don't know the definition of stalking, but how do you, like, you're stalking because your only interactions with them have been through looking at their page, looking at stories, whatever. Have you spoken to them? How can you stalk somebody that you speak to and say, hey, can I take this video, a picture? And they're like, yeah, sure. That doesn't even make sense. But then that page that told me that, I went on the page to check them out, like I said, in my community post. And that page was literally a jailer page. It wasn't a Big Brother page. It was just Instagram stories and pictures and videos of just jailer. So I was like, okay, clearly this person is just obsessed with jailer and doesn't want to hear any opinions about anything relating to them except for to say, hey, I'm so happy that they're a happy couple. Like, we're allowed to have opinions. That's the reason why we watch Big Brother, or that's the reason why I watch Big Brother. It's like an interesting social experiment where we can turn on these live feeds, watch these conversations, be like, oh, I connect with this or I don't connect with this. And I'm going to say this to y'all. I'm a person who is the same online as I am when I meet somebody. So when I walk up to these people, it's because this is not the first time I've met like people from these reality shows. Oftentimes I tell them, hey, I was not a fan of you on the show. I said this to Devin. I met Devin, I think a month ago, yeah, for this Halloween event that they had for the challenge. Devin Walker. If you watch the challenge, you'll know who that is. So when I met him, I said, hey, Devin, I was not really a big fan of you on the show, but I became a fan of you later when they started getting these people from other shows. He was like, I understand. I've heard that a lot. I met Johnny Bananas. I told Johnny Bananas, I have been a lifetime fan of Wes, part of the Wes fan club. And I never liked you. Like, you were one of my most hated people on the TV show. And he had a laugh with me about it. So some of y'all out there take it more seriously than some of them, to be honest, because I don't even think, I know that I'm not gonna say that Taylor has reviewed my page, looked at my page, but I am going to say that if she saw my page, I don't think that there's anything on there that would make her like, I don't want to talk to this guy, because I'm respectful. I don't call people out of their name. I just give my opinion. My opinion is not the be all end all. It is definitely not the be all end all. It's just an opinion. I have mine, you can have yours. But it kind of shows me that people are starting to value my opinion, even if they talk negatively to me in the comments. Yeah, so that's pretty much all that I have to say on that. For those who are just joining, I'm just here sitting in the car. I didn't get to the taping of The View. Very disappointing, but in life you have to learn how to move on from things. And in New York life, I feel like you have to learn how to move on from things even quicker, because so much disappointment happens here in the state of New York, especially for me. Sometimes I have strings of really bad luck. But as was said, I had a really amazing weekend, you know? My weekend was good. That was my day. Saturday, that was my day. I'm really happy with how Saturday went for me. I hope she would love the page. And again, I'm not going to say who. I could be somebody who's messy and sloppy and posts receipts. But I have spoken to, even though I haven't gotten any interviews with anyone from BB24. there's one person who I asked for an interview who said they will give me an interview next year. But they said they checked out my interview with John Brennan and they appreciate my angle, my approach to the interviews, and said that they see my page like I'm a safe space for reality TV stars to just come on there and be themselves. So, whenever I get the next person on there, I don't know when exactly that's going to be. I plan to give them that same experience that this person said to me that they see that I have done with others. Because, yeah, having opinions, there's nothing wrong with that. People who think there's something wrong with that, there's something wrong with you. There's something wrong with you if you think that being a fan of somebody means that you can't critique them, means that you can't give an opinion on them, and means that you have to agree with everything they do and say. You always handle everything very professional, Mark. Very intelligent guy. You speak. Sorry, this loaded. You don't have to think twice about what you're saying. Yeah, I don't, and thank you for saying that. And that's how I am in general too. Some people, I've had conversations with people about this, where some people they get mad and then they just say something and then they say, "Oh, I didn't really mean that. I'm sorry. I was just mad. I was just frustrated or whatever." I'm not that person. I'm a person who, even when mad, will think carefully before I say anything. I don't say things that I regret. Now, I'm not perfect. I do say things sometimes that I might regret how I stated it, or I might regret my tone. Or sometimes I might feel like I didn't necessarily have to say that particular thing, but you even see it on my page. When I call out trolls and post their page and say that stuff, I've thought about it 3 times before I do it. So I'm like, this is earned. This person earned this and they deserve it. So it's going out here. It's not just a moment where I saw one thing and then they got me so mad that I commented right away. Not at all. Not at all. Because the thing about words is once you let them out, you can't take them back. You can apologize. You can say you're sorry. But certain things, once you say them, it can be a seed planted in somebody's mind where they're like, wow, I never knew you were thinking that way, or I never knew that was in you to say. Now for me, when we're just talking about Big Brother, when we're strictly talking about Big Brother, I'll give you another example. Somebody said, oh, how dare you be talking to Taylor when you have a lot of things to say during the live feeds during the seasons. You know, a lot of things to say about Jailer, and you were not supportive of their relationship. That doesn't even make sense to me. I'm not supportive of their relationship. Did I have opinions about their relationship, the Monty situation, all that? Yeah, but what does that mean about supporting their relationship? I support happiness. I support their happiness. That's what I support. If it's in a relationship and they're happy, great. If they end up being just friends, I will still be rooting for their happiness. Having opinions about their relationship does not mean that I don't support them. Who makes these rules? Is there a rule book that I haven't seen? The Big Brother fan support rule book. coming soon. Maybe I should make one, patent it. The Big Brother Fan Support Rulebook by Mark. And then put in all the rules that you guys give me about who you can talk to, who you can't talk to, who you're allowed to make posts about. The rule that says that you're not allowed to change your mind about something if you have decided on one thing or spoken on one thing at one point. You could never say anything aside from that because that's your permanent stance. The rule that says if you say something and you honestly just missed something you didn't see, that's not allowed to happen because it means you're a liar. The new definition of liar has to go in there too, because I've learned from some of y'all what the new definition of lying is. There's a lot of honest Abrahams that spam my comments. How are y'all mornings going, by the way? Hopefully better than mine. I know there's eventually going to be a day where I get to go to the View. It's just not today. Maybe next time I apply to go, it's going to be an even better guest. Not saying there's any problem with Rev Run, because like I said, I like Rev Run. I wish I could have seen him, but perhaps I'm going to apply for a day where there's a big star. You didn't miss anything, Vicky. I'll give you a quick recap. Number one, I was on my way to the View. I got there slightly late, and they let people in early, and they closed the doors, so I was not able to go. I was planning to go, but that was what I started the live on, but I spent the last maybe 10 minutes just kind of addressing the troll posts, the troll comments that have been on my page since I posted my experience at Big D's birthday party. Which I wanted to address, but I did not want to make an entire post for that, because then they would feel like they accomplished something by being spoken about. Which I am still speaking about them now, but not in the way that they would like. They would like for me to go off on a big rant and be like, y'all don't know what you're talking about, and you don't know who you're messing with, blah blah blah, like, and that's off brand, as they would say, for me. That would be off brand. That's not how I operate my life. Hi Trisha. I will say, getting on here and hopping on here and talking to y'all always makes me feel better. So it's not the end of the world. No, it's not my way. It's not my way, Vicky. It's not my way. Two wrongs don't make a right. I'm not interested in it, because the more energy you spend on people like that is the less energy that you have towards finding your dreams and accomplishing your goals. There's not enough time and space to do both at the same time. There's not enough time to do both. Happy to be your sounding board. Appreciate that. Appreciate that, Vicky. How are y'all doing, by the way? How's everyone else's mornings going? Hopefully well. Are you you at work? Are you at home? Did you have a good weekend? Did Monday, I really said money. Did Monday come too soon for you? It always does for me. I should reach out to Whoopi Goldberg and be like, hey, Whoopi, I was trying to get into the show. Security would not let me in because they said that I came too late. I wasn't the only one who didn't get let in either, y'all. And people were pissed. People were so upset. I was upset, but some people were cursing out the scene. It was a scene outside when they blocked us off. I think that's the first time that's ever happened to me. It happened to me one other time, like I was mentioning earlier, and that was back when Good Morning America allowed guests. And I used to go to Good Morning America, and there was it's cold out there, and some people did not drive. I'm sure that some people that were out there took the subway or took the bus and the subway. So for them, it's like, I just stood out here in this cold and you didn't let me in. For me, at least, I was able to go back into my car, turn on the heat. How I'm chalking it up is that missing a taping of a TV show is a first world problem. There's people in the world right now that are trying to figure out how they're going to get their next meal. There's people out there right now that don't have clean water to drink. There's people out there that are looking for jobs and they're thinking about rent being due on the 1st and not having the money to pay rent. There's people who are trying to figure out how they're going to feed their kids. There's people in all kinds of situations. So, first world problem. Yes, I'm disappointed, but it's not the worst thing in the world. You know what, Vicky? You're smart, because that's exactly what the security guy told me. He's you getting here is them a little bit earlier. And then he was also telling me that some people stand out there from 7 o'clock in the morning. Now, I want to see the view, but there's no way if I have to get there 3 hours before it starts that I'm going to go on the view. I'll skip that and go to Sherry Shepherd. No disrespect to Sherry Shepherd. Bring folks turning people away unless you're super late. And that's no disrespect to Sherry Shepherd at all. I like Sherry Shepherd. Trying to stay positive today, had a few panic attacks. Those are the worst. Today I feel fragile but better. Oh, you're in New York, right, Trisha? I have a hard time keeping track sometimes. My morning is going great, Mark. Hope you can make typing. This day is so, it's like it's so cold outside, but it's so nice looking. It's a sunny day, it's bright, but it's like 40 degrees in NYC. Yeah, so now, is Jennifer Hudson, is it? I think it is. If Jennifer Hudson's show is in New York, I think it is. And if it is, I'm gonna look it up and go to that one of these days. If her show, I'm glad you said that because I forgot about her show. I think it is in New York. I think it is in New York. Sunny here. Oh, you're in PA. Oh, you're in PA. Yeah. What I was trying to do, I'm not disappointed just because I didn't get to go to the show, but I woke up early this morning because I wanted to document every part of getting onto one of the shows. From like, I picked out my suit and my outfit. I have my suit on, and I had everything that I picked out, and then I took some video outside. I took some video when I was walking up to the studio, and then they didn't let me in the studio, and then I was like, that just ruined my whole content plan, the content that I was going to put out this afternoon. But things happen. If there's one thing that's different about me than most other Big Brother bloggers or vloggers that you watch, I am outside. I go outside. You're not just gonna see me behind the computer or in my basement or in my bedroom. I'm outside amongst people doing things other than monitoring Instagram stories. But I can't wait. I can't wait for the next season of Big Brother. Now that I already have, my following and everything, and I know I was just experimenting. When I first did a live feed on this channel, it was just an experiment. Let me just do this and see how it goes. I never thought I would get a big Brother community following me after that. Camera ready for you. Every time I'm at a TV set, they usually put me in the front row. And at times, I've even been on the air. In terms of, like, they say something to me, like Nick Cannon. Back when they had the Nick Cannon show, that was my favorite. The reason that show was my favorite was not necessarily because it was my favorite to watch. It was a cool show, but I don't think if I hadn't gone to the show, I wouldn't be supporting it like that. But I remember my first time going to the Nick Cannon show. I was used to shows where they don't really talk to you that much. They're just kind of like, okay, go to your seat, and then they tell you clap when they're saying a certain thing. We're gonna prompt you when to clap, when to laugh, when to go ooh, when to cry, when to have a large reaction, that type of stuff. So what I appreciated about Nick was that before the show started, he would actually come out to the audience like 15 to 20 minutes before the show started, walk around the audience, talk to everybody. He would compliment people's outfits. He would dance with some people in the crowd. He would have conversations with people who wanted to talk to him. And then he would say like a prayer. He said, I want to pray with you guys before the show starts. And then he would pray with us. And then he would start the show. And then during the commercial breaks, where usually they're just getting their makeup and preparing for the next set, Nick would actually be back in the audience. I had several conversations with Nick personally when he was out here. I know we joke about the guy, and he has all these kids, and he's probably gonna have more kids, but like, I look up to Nick in a business sense. I actually look up to Nick in a business sense. Do you know if Celebrity? I hope Celebrity BB happens. I would cover Celebrity BB, even though I don't really like Celebrity BB. I would cover it just for you guys. But I will say I tried to get into the last Celebrity BB season. Have a good day, guys. Mine keeps buffering. Sorry about that. It's probably because I'm driving, so the service might be up and down. Service might be up and down. Apologies for that. Sorry if it's buffering, y'all. I know Trisha said it's buffering. It's hard to do these kind of lives sometimes because you're going off of the cell phone tower instead of Wi-Fi. And the cell phone tower coverage is iffy sometimes. Yeah, probably because I'm moving, yeah, right. I have 20 minutes until I'm home. But when I get home, I know what I'm gonna do actually. I was planning to make a video post thanking you guys for those comments that you left on my community post yesterday. I was planning to do that, so maybe I might use this extra time for that. Alright, y'all, so I guess y'all are all in and out, so I'm just gonna cut this for now, but I'll be back on here a couple times today, and thanks for tuning in.